Hey there, this is Death Star Killer and welcome to another movie review. This time, F9, The Fast Saga. The titles are just silly at this stage. I should be wearing my eye roll t-shirt. I'll give a warning before I go into specific spoilers, and you can
skip to the end
if you wish. How do you even review a movie like Fast and the Furious 9? These movies know exactly what they are, and they revel in it. When the franchise started out, it was mostly about street racing. This continued all the way up to about 4, and I think it was 4 when it started to change, when they realized what they had here. 4 added a revenge plot and a proper villain. 5 solidified that by leaning right into it and adding The Rock. 6 for me is where it's really comfortable. It knows what it's doing and it's having great fun doing it. 7 is probably my favorite. It's batshit crazy, and Statham is a great villain. 8 is a little more serious than usual, but it's still enjoyable, and it has a car chase with a submarine. Enter F9. Again, Dom has given up the life. Sure. He's a dad now, and he's living on a farm with Letty and his son. After receiving a distress call from Mr. Nobody, Kurt Russell, just before his plane crashes, Dom and the team are back in action. Dom's long-lost brother, played by John Cena, is introduced as the villain. The backstory is told in flashbacks. There's lots of action. They even finally find a way to be out of this world. The movie is enjoyable for the most part. I enjoyed the action as usual. I even enjoyed the flashbacks, but I did find that the flashbacks added with the main story in between action sequences did make the movie suffer. Let's face it, we watch these movies for the action and the humour, and we don't want huge gaps in between, which this had a couple of. Still, I'll always watch this as part of a Fast and Furious marathon. It may be one of the lesser ones, but I still enjoyed it. Okay, from here on, I'm going into spoiler mode. We all know Vin Diesel can be a little wooden at times, but John Cena is a complete plank. He's been great doing comedy. I saw one there a couple of years ago called Cock Blockers, which he was brilliant in. And he was fine in Bumblebee, but in this he's just so wooden. I just found him to be a fairly boring villain, to be honest. While underused, at least we still had Charlize Theron as the big bad, complete with an even worse hairdo than last time. There's a part in the movie where Roman starts to question if they are superheroes or invincible, as no matter what happens to them, they always survive. Is it possible to both like and not like something? Because I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was great fun that Roman has finally figured out that they always survive the craziest of things. But at the same time, I think him just mentioning that in the movie took away some of the stakes. If they start to believe themselves, even in the back of their minds, that they're always going to make it, it just takes away some of the danger. Like, we always know that they'll make it, and even if they die, they'll probably pop back in a couple of movies' time, but the characters shouldn't even reference it, I think, even though I enjoyed it. I'm glad that they finally went to space, but even though they did find a way of getting a car to go to space, I wish it had been crazier. I don't know, it just seemed a bit, oh well, yeah, they're in space in a car. I don't know, I wanted more. Perhaps we'll get more in the next one. I'd love to see like a moon buggy chase on the moon or something crazy like that. I thought 7 had a really nice, respectful send-off of Brian's character after Paul Walker's untimely death. I even found it emotional, and I like that they found a way to send him off without killing the character. But knowing that Paul Walker is dead just makes it a little bit weird every time they mention Brian's character. And in this movie they mention him a few times. Every time they mentioned his character, it just took me out of the movie. I wish it didn't, but it did. I mean, they even have a part in this where his car drives up and parks, and then it cuts away just before he would supposedly get out of the car. Another thing I think they could have handled better is the return of Han. I always liked Han, and now that they've found a way to bring him back, he's just not what he used to be. Now, I'm guessing that's probably on purpose. He's so muted and serious in this movie. But then again, Giselle, Wonder Woman. She died at the end of 6 and the two of those were together, so I guess that's hit him hard. I still just think he's barely there. He's back, but he's barely there. The movie definitely suffers the double hit of not having The Rock and Statham in it, as they're off having their own adventures now with Hobbs and Shaw. Plus, we all know there was a fairly public falling out between The Rock and Vin Diesel. That's never going to help. There is a scene in the middle of the credits setting up something that might happen in the next movie, so watch out for that. Oh, nerdy fact. Did you know that the Fast and Furious movies had end credit scenes way before Marvel? The very first movie had one. Check it out. Overall, I had a really good time with the movie. I watched it in 4DX, which was insane. For anyone that doesn't know what 4DX is, it's the one where the seat moves and there's water splashed on you and wind blowing at you, and it's kicking you in the back when there's explosions and shooting and stuff. It's crazy, but it's good fun, especially for this kind of movie. I often find with these kind of movies that I like them more the second time because I've had just too high expectations that first time. So my score might go up after watching it again, but for now I give it 3 brines out of a dom. 3 brines out of a dom. I'm only saying that because I can't remember the name of the car. 3 blue Japanese cars out of 1 black American one. Charger. It's a Charger. What the hell is Brian's car? Blue Nissan Skyline. I knew it was the Skyline. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel keep going. Channel's doing well, so thank you everyone out there. Until the next time, this is Death Star Killer, signing off.